We are live. You guys let us know when you can see and hear us. There he is. Afternoon. KJ, how's it going?
Hi, everyone. Happy Friday.
Yes.
We all made it another week.
We all made it another week. Vadim's in the house.
I think we're just going to give everyone a chance to get settled in.
Yeah.
We just posted the link on our page, on our community page. So just going to give people a minute to get in the house.
Yeah.
Hope everybody's doing well.
Mm-hmm.
See some familiar faces. Corey Maloof. Hello, Wirehead.
Yeah.
Has their coffee already.
Love that.
Dan Mojo Jr. Thank you for welcoming me back. I appreciate it.
Lisa B.
Oh, hello, Chris, Brian Ruby, Pete. We've got Tremont from Belgium.
Oh, wow.
Always love seeing people from all over the world.
We have Brazil here from Raphael, too.
Awesome. Hey, Lisa, thank you.
Do you want to give people the update while we're getting started? Because this is your first time back in over a month.
It's
been over a month.
I thought we had done a live stream.
We did a live stream 6 weeks ago.
What? Oh, time has no meaning. What is time? Yeah, I guess so. If anyone is curious about what sort of update, I guess we might be talking about, for the past, oh my goodness, I don't know. Well, starting in May, or April, late April, shortly after I got back from dealing with my parents, I had to go in for a regular, mammogram screening, and they discovered something that they weren't quite sure about. So I had to go back and do multiple follow-ups, biopsies, and they were concerned that it could be cancer, breast cancer. And so in September, the end of September, again, yeah. Time, sorry. I went in and had a surgery where they removed this particular tissue. They rearranged some material and stitched me back up. And then I just found out last week that all of the results were negative.
We are in the clear.
It's such great news. Anybody that knows anyone who's been through something like this knows how devastating hearing something like this could be, and just the waiting in general. Like, I feel like I kind of haven't been able to breathe since around May. Yeah. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that's checked in. I know Andrew's told me whenever you've privately messaged him through wherever, social media and whatnot, he's let me know, and it's really meant a lot to me to hear everyone's concern and just to know that you care. Really, really did mean a lot, and I'm happy to be here. The news is obviously fantastic. Andrew and I danced around our living room. Once I got off the phone with the doctor or the nurse, and there's nothing like knowing you're going to be healthy, or that you're okay. Yeah. So anyway, that's the update. And I don't know, as far as like going back to the regular kind of content I was doing with Andrew, with all of the unplugs that we were doing after our typical reviews that came out on Sunday. I'm not sure if we're going to do that. Doing those kinds of videos were getting to be a bit of a grind. I think for both of us, you can correct me if I'm speaking out of turn here, but
no, I mean, it is a lot. I mean, it's a lot. Those videos, when we sit down to record them, any video that we do, even before Unplugged, ends up being about 35 to 45 minutes of raw footage. But then when we would do the Unplugged, it would get close to 2 hours of raw footage, in which case then I have to cut it down to, 45 minutes, 38 minutes, whatever it is. So it took 2-3 times as long. And doing that every week, it becomes a grind, especially when you run across a product that didn't really garner a lot of questions for people, so it's like, are we inventing something to talk about, sort of a thing.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes you just have to sort of take a break and reassess. And I'm not sure what we're going to do. If we're going to go back to a second video a week. We've had so much going on this year, between my own personal health issues and then dealing with my parents who were not well health-wise. It's been a rough year. It's been this year feels like about 5 years.
It does. It definitely feels like more than just the one. So I think for the remainder of this year, it's very likely we're just going to stick to what we've been doing so far this year and just get through it. We have quite a bit still backlogged, and we have quite a bit still committed that we have to get through before the end of the year. So we're not slowing down or anything like that or changing it up, because, we're going to bring you all these videos. But I think the lives like this are the best way to kind of, I don't want to say shoehorn, but just the best way to kind of address the after the review conversations. So if anything, there's a chance that maybe you guys will get more than one of these a month, because that is the most time effective way to kind of bring you all of the little added goodies and whatnot. But yeah, I think if we start doing other content, I mean, we've peppered in a lot of other content this year already, between the system builds and the theoretical, if you have a small space, a big space. I really enjoy doing those, and so those will probably continue. In fact, Sunday's video was a lot of fun to put together, and most of the advice in Sunday's video you probably already have lying around the house that you can make your system better for free. So those are fun kind of thought experiment type videos that you might see more of. So how do we want to start? Do we want to start with because there's a couple of questions here, or do we want to just jump into the BioLab 50s? Because boy, that video took off and you guys really enjoyed that one. What do you think, babe?
I mean, well, you know what? Does anybody care what I thought about the...
I care what you thought about them.
Well, I know you care, but you kind of know. As far as the 50s, I absolutely love them. They were a huge surprise after having had the 90s. And actually also after having had the Wilson Watt puppy speaker in the house at the same time, essentially. How much I enjoyed the Bang & Olufsen's. I'm a fan of their sound, so that wasn't a surprise. But what was a surprise for me anyway, was how much I enjoyed them, as much, if not more, than the 90s. Andrew touched on this a little bit in the review of the 50s, as far as how they fit in our space. And while I think the 90s physically fit in our space.
Yeah.
And someone had commented that they thought maybe our space was too small for the 90s. And I would disagree, because I've been in multiple showrooms, Bang & Olufsen showrooms, and they display those speakers in spaces even smaller than ours.
Oh, for sure.
So I can't quite agree. But I will say that just from a visual standpoint, the 90s felt as if they overpowered our living room.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. So I think the 50s just kind of are like the Goldilocks of that brand's offerings.
Mm-hmm.
They sound great. I think they're amazing for movie watching. They have an incredible amount of bass.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of crazy, like especially with the grills and everything on,
Mm-hmm.
which is how we live with them.
Yeah.
You don't really see any of the movement of the woofers,
Mm-hmm.
and so when you're watching a movie or something, especially, and you just hear this rumble come over, it's like, wow, I can't believe that sound is coming out of this particular speaker.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I guess, I don't know, with time, my idea of like which speakers are large, or you know what I mean, has changed so much. Like when Andrew first started the channel,
Mm-hmm.
and I really got my introduction into this whole world of hi-fi, you know, anything bigger than a small box felt huge to me.
Yeah.
You know, but that's really gone out the window since we're 5 or so years into this.
Yeah.
So to me, I think that the 50s are a really approachable size. They don't feel dominating like some other speakers do.
Mm-hmm.
So again, but going back to the bass, it's kind of it's just impressive to know that what comes out of them and how they can just, the sound can envelop you all around you is another thing that I really was surprised by.
Yeah.
And I think they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Then, you know, just, okay, so they're super easy to use. You press a button, they turn on, they work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, imagine that.
And no gear lying around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really nice. And it's going to continue to be really nice, and that's my favorite part. But I'm with you. They are notably, you know, smaller, yet they don't feel, sound wise, they really don't feel that much smaller than the 90s in everyday listening. Now, if you really want to go for broke and you want to have that, dare I say, IMAX like cinema experience in terms of sound and pressurization, then yeah, the 90s are superior. But I don't know how many people take it to that extreme every single time they sit down to watch anything or listen to anything. And for those people that are going to spend 90% of their listening time not really pushing it beyond the occasional, you know, craziness, scale wise, I'm really at a loss for, like, am I missing anything? Not really. The one thing that the 90s do a little bit better is you can set up the listening zones that are on and way off axis, and it does a better job of creating stereo imaging kind of wherever you want it. But aside from that, across our, how wide is our sofa, babe? About 9-10 feet? Something like that. It's
this one?
The new one.
It's got to be probably 10.
Yeah.
Maybe 9. I don't know. We got a new, we changed out our, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but we changed out our gray sofa that was from RH, Restoration Hardware, to a L-shaped sectional. And so it feels kind of massive, and I'm not really the best judge of size or length or whatever, but because it has the corner piece. Are you talking about
I'm talking about the physical width, corner to corner, not the L shape. Anyway,
I think it was 110 inches or
something like that.
I don't know.
But anyway, what I was getting at is within the total width of this particular sofa, I still have the pinpoint imaging of the 90s through the 50s. It's really the 90s beat the 50s. Like if I want to have like stereo imaging from my kitchen, it did a better job doing that. But that's such a unique specialty, whatever. So I guess if I had a huge house and I threw a lot of parties and whatnot, and I needed a much greater omnipresent kind of sound, then yeah, the 90s all day. But for I think most hi-fi enthusiasts, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe you even gravitated a little bit more towards the 50s, because they're kind of the ethereal quality of the 90s, but with that traditional hi-fi imaging a little bit more baked in, rather than something that you tune up with the 90s. Like I say in the review, like you can kind of make the 90s do whatever you want, and the 50s you can do a lot with you know, keeping it in perspective that they don't have like, you know, the drivers on the sides and on the back and whatnot. So anyway, yeah, I thought that was, it's been a heck of a ride, and I appreciate you guys for sticking with us, and waiting for this. When we took delivery of them earlier in the year, you know, it only took about, I don't know, a week or two of having him in this house before I started having much bigger visions, and we just decided to, let's just do it. You know, it's been a hell of a year. We can always talk ourselves out of certain things, but we've been wanting to like redo the wiring and all of that stuff in this house. So we just did it. And that led to some delays and all that. I mean, we're still not done. Like I still have not patched up every room. Every room is patched. I just haven't made it pretty. And I am so grateful to you, babe, for having patience with me on that. This is a good question I want to address real quick before I get to, I see I'm already behind on some super chats, but David did ask, did you guys end up purchasing the theater as well, or just try it again? The theater was on loan to us from the owners of Watt Integration, for the purposes of just getting to try it again with the rest of our B&O products. It's on my list if the next B&O purchase that I make will be the theater. But no, that theater is not ours. In fact, it is already disconnected, and plans have been made to return it to them. But I'm so grateful that they let me borrow their personal theater for like a month, so that I could have that full, you know, Atmos experience with the 50s and the 8s. And honestly, I even added other B&O speakers that we had, albeit briefly, around the house. And I mean what I say. When we reviewed the theater 2 years ago, we reviewed it as a standalone soundbar, and it's phenomenal. It was great. I stand by every word of that review, but I don't believe I gave the product its due credit, and there's no way I could have given it its full credit without having the other speakers. And at the time that we had the theater, I hadn't gotten the 8s, and
they weren't even a thing.
No, the 8s weren't even a thing, and obviously we didn't have the 50s, and so there wasn't really anything for me to, at that time, at least in our home, you know, put into it. Now that I've had that experience, like I say in the review, if you're looking to make your first Bang & Olufsen purchase, and you know, like, you're going to be committed to this is the system for you, the lifestyle for you, and you're willing to take it step by step, that may be the best speaker to buy as your first purchase. And I know it's a lot, I do, but it's so versatile and it's so good, and it allows for such expansion down the road that it's kind of the best place to start, in my humble opinion. So anyway,
I just want to chime in.
Yeah.
I totally agree with what Andrew just said about the theater. It just added so much.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to put into words like what that so much is, but it really did fill out the whole system.
Yeah.
And as far as dialogue clarity, while I think the B&O 50s by themselves are exceptional, with the theater acting as the center, it really elevated clarity even that much more. So for anyone that struggles with watching movies and understanding all the dialogue like I do,
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you are looking at going this route
Mm-hmm.
with Bang & Olufsen, the theater is something I would highly consider.
And keep in mind that we're talking about dialogue clarity without any sort of dialogue DSP enhancements. We're talking just purely acoustically on its own. And that in and of itself is its own type of clarity and resolution. And that's to its strength. The other thing that I love about the theater was, and I touched upon this in the review, but I don't know if it was clear as far as what I meant by being able to set up this system in multiple different ways. Not everything you watch, or not when you go to, watch TV just casually, maybe you don't want your whole system on. And so like I had a setting called TV, and that treated the theater soundbar as just an all-inclusive soundbar. It left my 50s off, it left the 8s off, and it was basically just for watching casual TV. Or I wake up early in the morning, I want to watch the news or something like that, but I don't want to wake up Kristi or Katie. It just let me play everything at a lower volume. And then I made a setting called TV Plus, and that was the theater soundbar plus the 8s for some added fill in the back for surrounds. But it still left the 50s off. So it was like a night mode, like it kept the bass down. It kept the disruption of scale and all of that, potentially a little bit more at a minimum. And we used that setting a lot, to be honest with you. We really did. And then there was Movie, which was the whole system. And then there was Movie Plus, which was the whole system plus my PEQ. And then there was Kitchen, which steered all of the speakers in our living room to fire and create as much of a stereo sensation while I was cooking, which is like at a 45-degree angle and 20 some odd feet away. And all I needed to do was either go to the app or go to the remote, and it was just hotkeys. And it was so much fun setting that stuff up. And that's just that level of flexibility that you just don't really have. I know a lot of receivers and products are like, oh, there's zone A, zone B, but that's totally different than what we're talking about here. And so it was really cool. It was really cool. Chris, thank you so much for your super chat, Chris. And I saw your little note that you intended this one more for us. So I hope you forgive me, Chris, if I don't put it up on the screen, since I saw your note saying it was a little bit more personal. Scott Woodford, it's my birthday today and I don't work, and my son Memphis tomorrow, got cut off. He turns 20. I'm 49. Well, happy birthday and enjoy, and happy birthday to your son. Thank you so much for watching. Santiago, being that the 50s are 8 years old, should I wait for the next iteration, or are they still worth it and able to stay functional for years to come? I don't know if there's going to be another iteration. The thing about the 50s was that they were designed as according to Bang & Olufsen, and you can go read the white papers and the design notes on the Project 50. They were designed as kind of a standalone thing. They came after the 90s, and it was internally discussed, again, going off of what Bang & Olufsen shares publicly on their website and in their blogs. Do you make a continuation of the BioLab 5? Do you do something different? Do you try and make a smaller 90? These were all conversations that they had internally, and ultimately the 50s were kind of designed as their own standalone thing, taking bits and pieces of tech and inspiration from a lot of Bang & Olufsen speakers. But I don't know if there's going to be a 50 Mark II. Knowing kind of what B&O has been doing lately, I don't know. I don't think they would do that. I think they would just come up with a new product. And because they don't come out with necessarily new speakers every 8 months to 12 months like a lot of other brands, I mean, the fact that this thing is 8 years old, the fact that the 90s are 10 years old and still very viable today is a testament to the fact that this is not about getting on a hamster wheel and fighting off FOMO. These are purchases that are intended to be, one and done. Is the 80 still, is the 50 still viable 8 years later, absolutely. Absolutely. More so if you add the BioConnect core, which I know is an added expense of about $1,000, but that really does make it future proof at this point in time. So yeah, and then you have all of the legacy inputs that are present as well as in terms of RCA, optical, coaxial, and all of that stuff, USB. So there's a myriad of ways that you can connect to the 50s, whether you want to live entirely in the Bang & Olufsen ecosystem or you don't. And that is to their credit. So I feel very strongly about them. And I think that they're worth it for the long haul, and that's why they're my long haul speaker. Oil Cooled says, ignoring price, what do you think will be the best soundbar sub, no surrounds, for music? Arc Ultra plus sub 4, B&O Stage, I know no sub, or the new Blue Sound Pulse Cinema plus sub of choice. I can't comment on the Blue Sound Pulse. I don't know anything about it. I have not listened to it, even seen it in person. If you want the best soundbar plus sub combo, it's the Arc Ultra sub 4. It is, because as much as I love the B&O Stage, like you point out, it's not expandable. It's a self-contained piece. And if you want a sub because it sounds like bass is going to be a little bit more of a priority, then the only way to do that, based on my personal experience, is the Arc Ultra and sub 4. I'm nothing against the Blue Sound Pulse or Cinema. I don't want to speak out of turn, and I can't give you any advice on that because I have no experience with it. Clem writes, the 50s looked really handsome in your space. How'd the Arundel review finally happen? Kristi, so happy for you. Great seeing you guys again.
Excuse me.
How do you want to answer this?
What, the Arundel?
How did the Arundel review finally happen?
They actually reached out to us via email, and we're like, I guess it's finally time to do a review.
I think that was the actual title.
The subject line.
The subject line of the email.
We did not personally contact them. We gave up on that.
Probably over a year ago.
Yeah. So yeah, they reached out and decided to, I don't know, grace us with their presence. They asked, I think, didn't you want to initially do the bookshelves?
No.
Did we say, do you have anything new? And they didn't really have anything new, so they offered the towers. Yeah, and there's really not a lot behind it. It's just like, do you want to review these? And we were like, sure.
Yeah, because you guys have been asking for them. Yeah. So they're here. They're here, and they've been going through their paces. And that review is not imminent. Like, it's not like this weekend or next, but it'll be sooner than later. Definitely before the end of the year. I
will say, getting them, actually, the arrival experience of them was not great.
They arrived in perfect shape.
Yeah. I'm talking about the delivery process.
The delivery process is something
they're going to come by freight. Yeah. So even though I know we'll talk about this, or Andrew will talk about this in the review, if anyone out there watching right now is considering buying these, you need to be prepared to have multiple people help you get these. Yeah. Potentially even off the truck, because that is what happened to us. I believe they are in the works of coming up with some sort of white glove service, which these desperately need. Yeah. That will actually get the speakers maybe to your front door. I don't know. The information coming from Arundel is pretty vague. No idea what that's going to cost. But how they showed up, considering how much they cost, was that experience I thought was pretty unacceptable. Yeah, it was pretty subpar. And I'm not pretending to be superhuman strong or anything like that, but had I been less capable, of an older age, not
in the best of health, or even if I was in the best of health but had an injury that kept me from being able to lend a hand, those speakers would have never gotten out of the truck. They literally, like, the driver was doing their absolute best, and they had all the right tools. It was a completely professional situation. It's just they are that cumbersome. They are that heavy. They are that, they're just that much of a bear.
Well, here's the thing, guys, that I want to be very clear about.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we receive a lot of deliveries,
Mm-hmm.
Being a channel that we are getting stuff sent to us, whether it's through standard UPS, and FedEx, like ground, like what, when you get an Amazon delivery or,
Mm-hmm.
you buy something online, it comes to you, what that experience is like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When it comes to larger size shipments, like something like the Arundel Tower, that has to be sent through a freight company.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some companies, just as an example, like Restoration Hardware, when you order a sofa from them, this is equally as big as the Arundel speakers, and cumbersome. They send a delivery team to actually get those into your home.
Yeah.
You do pay for that service.
Yeah, it's part of that membership.
But it is worth it, and they come prepared. Now, something that comes via freight, for example, the La Scalas. We had a similar issue with the La Scalas, the new ones, the AL6s. They came standard freight, and again, we get deliveries all the time. 9 times out of 10, actually 10 times out of 10, a standard freight company is going to send one person.
Yeah.
They're the driver, and they're the person that gets the product off the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if something comes and is as big and as unruly as the Arundel speakers or the Klipsch La Scalas, one person is probably not going to have a very good time getting that thing off the truck. They may not be able to get it off the truck
by themselves,
as was the case with the Arundel.
Yeah.
Andrew had to help the delivery person get these speakers off the truck.
And then, of course, because of the way that the shipping companies often work, it's drop and go. So we drop them on your driveway, and our responsibility in terms of, as a delivery company, it's over.
Yeah.
And so I had 2 pallets of, 400-pound speakers in my driveway. And now I have to get them however many yards, 100 yards or whatever, to the front of my house, and then unbox them and get them into the room.
Oh, and Samuel, just to be clear, they were delivered on a truck with the lift gate.
Yeah.
They're so heavy. So something like this comes on a pallet.
Yeah.
Those wood things where they strap them down.
No,
they strap the product down to this wood base, which is called a pallet.
Yeah.
And Samuel, they
were packaged.
They were packaged fine. There was nothing wrong with the packaging. But they're so big and heavy, the driver couldn't even get them onto the lift gate.
The driver had a pallet jack. Now, we are not on a perfectly flat surface. There is a mild incline, decline, depending on how you want to drive the truck up to our driveway. It's not unbearable. It's not impossible. It's just we are not on the Great Plains of Oklahoma here. So there are flatter areas, and some drivers prefer to park down and then bring things up a little bit. Is there something wrong? But anyway, because of that slight incline, the driver had difficulty, even with the pallet jack, getting 400 pounds worth of pallet and speaker up that little bit of an incline within their own truck onto the lift gate and down. It took 2 people. So anyway, sermon over on that, but if you're thinking of ordering those, please do call ahead and make sure that they arrange for the proper everything, because you are taking delivery of, while the speakers themselves out of the box in total do not equal about 400 pounds. The shipped weight of this entire endeavor is close to 400 pounds.
Yeah, just want you to know what you might be getting into
Yeah.
if you're on the fence or thinking about ordering them.
Yeah.
This has we're not speaking anything on the sound.
No.
Just talking about the actual delivery experience, which I think is part of any review or should be.
Yeah.
And sometimes brands think about these things and sometimes they don't.
And it should be part and parcel of something that costs.
But I will tell you that yes, Arendal is supposedly
looking into it,
going to add some additional shipping delivery option, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should. But anyway, just want you to know. We'll move on.
Here we go. Vadim, again, best wishes to Kristi. Hope all will be only better from here on out. Speaking of grills, which do you guys prefer, grills on or off? And of course, he's speaking of teeth grills.
Well, teeth
are those
grills,
still a thing?
Definitely on.
Yeah.
We usually, with the 50s, the
50s
grills
on.
are on.
Yeah.
But the majority of speakers we get in the house and here for review, we typically prefer speakers without the grill.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what kind of speaker.
Yeah.
I want to say this is probably the first speaker we've had that we want to leave the grills on.
They've clearly been designed for that purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, you take the grills off and you see all of the machining and the, custom molding and everything that goes into making this speaker. So the grills are integral to the visual style and play of the speaker. So I think they're supposed to be on. Corey Cable writes, would enjoy hearing your thoughts on Dirac art. So happy for Kristi on a plane about to take off. Well, first, safe travels if we have already missed you. I'm very anxious to try Dirac art. As some of you are obviously aware, it's rolled out to certain Marantz and Denon receivers. I currently don't have a Denon or Marantz receiver in-house that I don't have one in-house, period, that would take advantage of that. So rest assured, should art come to any of our current receivers in-house, I'll be the first one to try it at that point.
We had something that was art enabled or something, but art hadn't been released.
Yeah,
which product was that?
The last Marantz receiver that we had in-house was going to get the art upgrade or update at some point. It just, when we reviewed it, it wasn't out. And so now it is out, but I don't have that receiver anymore because it was sent back to Marantz. So whenever we get the next AVR review from Marantz or Denon or whomever, whether it's Storm Audio or whatnot, if Dirac art is available on it, rest assured I will test it. DJ Space Bacon became a mid-fi member. Thank you so much for the support. Max writes, with the 50s, has the recovering audio file recovered? Yeah, for sure. Boy, if I could go back in a time machine and not use that moniker, I would.
That's my fault.
Yeah.
When we were early into this whole
we needed a hook
process, I put my marketing advertising hat on, and he had mentioned it in a video or something. I was like, oh, that's
good.
That's great.
You should use that.
We should use that. And so we did. And now it's followed us everywhere. And I would love to go back in time and just go ahead and kick myself in the ass and say, don't say those words. And just use your name. But anyway, you live and you learn.
I've been recovered for a while. I will say that with the 50s, I have achieved a bucket list dream. And that is 15-year-old me walking into B&O's showrooms in Colorado and seeing, Biolab 1s, Biolab 5s, Pentas, things like that I always wanted for myself, but honestly was like, this is down the road stuff. Just circling back and like making sure the inner child in me achieved that. That's what these are. If that's recovered, if that's not, I don't know, but it's something I've always wanted for myself. And now I have it. So CRM, Andrew, any plans to review Mini DSP's new Amp 8-channel Class D amplifier? Wondering if it'd be a good fit with my SHD and Concept 50s. I just recently saw that they had come out with that. Mini DSP, they're a great company. They're great products. You know, I'm a big fan. But they're not the best at getting the word out there as far as what they've got cooking. So if I don't go and check their website, I don't know, once a quarter or so, I don't always know what they're up to. I saw that.
What are you talking about?
Mini DSP.
Oh, okay.
I saw that amp literally maybe about 2 weeks ago for the very first time. And it's very intriguing, especially considering that they now have the new, I'm going to call it the SHD for home theater, which is the newer version of the preamp DAC PEQ filter machine that I use. So I would love to get both of those as a separates type system and see what that's like, because that would be very comparable to your Marantzes or whatever for those who like to tweak and have separates. So thank you for the reminder, but I have every intention of reaching out and asking to do a review, but one is not currently scheduled. Mark, thank you so much. Chris Feldman, B&O still supports CD players from the 90s. Future proof. This is a true statement. And also, if you follow them on social, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, they also launched a program where they're going to be releasing in small batches revitalized vintage pieces with all new tech in them. That's all I know. That's all they've really shared. But yeah, they are committed to the long haul. They've been doing this a little bit with some of their turntables, albeit in very special editions and higher price points. But I think they're bringing this methodology to more everyday stuff. I mean, obviously the price points are still probably going to be a little bit on the higher side, but I don't know if they're going to be as premium as like these anniversary throwbacks have been. And I just think that that's really, really cool of them. And it just, again, it speaks to the brand's heritage, and it speaks to their desire to support people over a very long period of time, as opposed to, you know, just short-term gain. Mike Nelson, hi. Do you think the 705S3 would be a worthy successor to the KEF LS50 Meta paired with the Marantz Cinema 50? It's entirely dependent upon if you want a more direct, call it, I'm going to use the word detailed or nuanced sound, but that is purely as a result of entirely different voicing once you get into the upper mid-range and into the treble compared to the KEF. The KEF follows a far more linear, neutral tone. If you want that little spike, that hit of brilliance, that sensation of air and an extension at all volumes, that little bit of extra edge and inflection point to notes and lyrics and dialogue, then yes, the 705s stand a very good chance of presenting you with that information with greater clarity and ease compared to the KEF. Aside from that, everything else is just going to come down to your personal taste. But in terms of voicing, that is where they're going to differ the most. And if that's something that you're chasing or you like hearing everything with this sort of not strange, that's not the right word, with this sort of just raw intensity and clarity at all volumes, then the B&W is going to sound that way compared to the KEFs. And they sound great. The 705s work great with the Cinema 50, just for what it's worth. Justin, glad to hear you're both in good spirits. Speaking of deliveries, have you figured out what to do with the stack and stacks of stuff that you have that we saw in the 50s video? I was hoping someone would ask me about that. Okay. So what you saw in the video was a quick cell phone pan around our storage room. And admittedly, most of those boxes are empty, because what people don't realize is when we take a product in for review, you don't just have to store the product while you're reviewing it, but you have to store the boxes. And you can't break them down because it's not your product. It is going back. And so a pair of, let's say, Klipsch La Scalas, because you no doubt saw those boxes in the room. A pair of Klipsch La Scalas comes in 4 boxes. In reality, it's 8, because the speakers themselves are 2 boxes each, and then there's the boxes they come in. So they take up twice as much room overall than what you may see in a living room if you're us. And the same is true of a television. You get a 98-inch television, well, you've got the TV on your wall for 2, 3, 4 weeks while you're reviewing it, but you also got to store the 98-inch box, which is larger than the TV itself. Right now, at the time that I was taking that picture, we happen to be in a bit of a very, very weird time. Number one, we have a little bit of a backlog because of what happened at the beginning of the year and throughout this year, and our schedule being so chaotic with family and health stuff. So we actually have a little bit more gear than I personally like having in-house for review. That's number one. Number two, we also have a backlog of products that have yet to be picked up. They've been boxed, they've been ready to go for a little while, but logistically, because of reasons, we're not able to get them picked up by the brands as quickly as maybe we had wanted or had planned to. And then third, for whatever reason, between the Arundels, the Klipsch La Scalas, which are our next 2 big speaker reviews, they're just massive, and their boxes are even bigger. And I mean, it's so bad. It's so bad right now that we took delivery of a TV that we're reviewing, and for the first time ever, we had to ask the manufacturer to take the box back with them, because I literally do not have an ounce of space to keep their box. And they were very gracious, and they took their box back. But when they come to pick their TV up, they're going to have to bring that giant honking box back, just to put their TV in it and then take it away. And you'll know exactly what I'm talking about on Sunday, because we give you guys a little Easter egg preview of a couple of things that are coming, if you don't already know. As for the rest, the stacks and stacks and stacks and stuff, the stuff that is in my personal collection, and a couple of personal pieces that we've definitely used as reference, that we've paid for and all of that are ours. I will probably be moving some of those on in the new year. I think it's time. I don't want to have to store all of this stuff. Like we said in the B&O review, we're trying to do more things that make better sense for us than always are in service of the channel. Where did I leave off? That was Justin. Great question. Coffee connoisseur. I finally set up my A9 stereo pair and love them. I know they're not anywhere close to the 50s, but I would really appreciate to know when you guys will review an A9 stereo pair. It almost happened around the time that we took delivery of the 50s. I had a quote put together. Obviously, as you know, we tore this whole house apart, and I do mean we tore this whole house apart. What you saw in the B-roll is like, I don't know, a fifth of what I captured in what was ultimately done in terms of the destruction of everything. And part of that quote included another A9, some stages, BO sound stages for the bedrooms, and things like that. The BO Living system, which is their smart home system, because I really wanted it to be one and done. If we're going to tear into the house, let's just do it. And I had every intention of biting the bullet and doing it. And right around the time that we got that quote was also around the time that Kristi started to get news that we may be dealing with longer term medical stuff. And so I asked the very nice people at Watt Integration to build the quote out in stages. What's step one? What would be step two? What would be step three? Instead of just doing it all at once. And they graciously split it up. And so we finished step one. Step two is not another A9, is not the other products, it's other things. And then step three is some of these other products. Now we're all wired for it. We're all ready to go. But I prioritized some medical expenses. Obviously you're supposed to, over getting, that second A9 and whatnot. So I too want to know what that sounds like. And so it's coming. I had hoped it would be done now, but it's definitely not happening this year, but it is still on my list of things that I want to experience. Let's see. Max writes, have you hit max volume on the 50s? Signs of distortion. I haven't hit max volume on them. But again, I don't know how y'all are listening, to be honest with you. And I'm not saying that, Max, I am not picking a fight with you. This is to the larger class, if you will. Because whether we're talking about the BLab 50s, we're talking about the BLab 90s, or we're talking about any speaker of any kind, this always comes up. Like, oh, there will always be a comment where it's like, everyone knows that, these things distort, and it's like, I don't know how y'all are listening. I really don't. And I've seen, the speakers, it's not our end all. Per listen, JTR, they're advertising like 130 dB, with no compression. And we can run them at 130 dB for 24 hours and we don't burn up the drivers and all of that. That's great, for testing and all that. Sure, great. Who's listening that loud? And if you say you are, I need to remind you that anything over about 100, I think it's 100 or 105 dB for longer than a split second is instant hearing damage. Like you are affecting your long-term hearing health. And if you're going 110, 112, 15 for more than a minute, like that's permanent. Like you should have ear protection in. And so some of these people that are like, oh, the 50s, they start distorting at 110 dB or 108 dB. And it's like, I don't know if that's true or not, but I've had these things at 100 dB peaks, 102, 103 dB peaks. I didn't hear any distortion. They didn't break up. They sounded clear as a bell. But I also do not listen that loud. People need to realize like 80, 85 dB is loud. 90 dB is loud. 100 dB is uncomfortable for me. And I don't care if that's not like, oh, the speaker must be bright. No, that's just a lot of volume. You don't have to necessarily have the volume that loud to have the cinematic or orchestral experience. 85, 88, 89, 91 will do you. And the difference between 90 and 100 is grand. It's grand. So have I taken them to their absolute tippy top volume? Absolutely not. Have I taken them over 100 dB? I have. And no, they did not distort on me. Will they distort at 110, 112? I don't know. Maybe. I have no intentions of finding out because I don't listen that way and I don't want to. Wishbone, favorite way to get music into the 50s using a core and AirPlay, but only Tidal Connect is truly lossless. My favorite way to get music into the 50s using a core is HDMI with Apple Music. That's my favorite way to do it. Apple TV 4K into whatever display we have, going into the core and then away you go. And I just like that because it's easy. I also use Tidal Connect when I don't want to turn my TV on and I want to play all of the B&O speakers and whatnot. And it works great too. There's so many ways. I mean, Bluetooth's fine. There's so many different ways to do it. But if you're asking me like, what's my favorite way or the way that we most often listen it's Apple TV 4K display core. Chris Veltman, I get moving the 50s out of their current placement due to channel needs, but at what point do you just leave them in place for yourselves? This has been the longest, and I mean this has been the longest that any speaker has been allowed to be in one spot without being like crazy for the longest amount of time, because I don't want to disconnect them. And that's the truth. Like I have purposely kind of scheduled a few things the way that we have to enable these to just stay where they are. And it's not because they're difficult to move or anything like that. They're actually easier to move than La Scalas or the new Arundels. But I just love them, and I love listening to them, and I just love how easy my life is with them. And I love that there's no clutter below the television with them. And so I'm being a little bit selfish in that I've scheduled a couple of things so that I don't have to move them. But probably, I would say within a week, they're going to have to go to their secondary location in our house, because I have to, I have to give you guys what you want to, and I have to do my job. Not that I haven't been doing my job, but I have other things that you guys have been waiting on that I need to tackle. And so they will be going, like I said, to their secondary location probably for a good 2 to 3 weeks, which always kind of breaks my heart a little bit, seeing them off to the side, and you're like, so, I'll tell you one thing. What's that meme, babe, when they're like, if I won the lottery,
there would be signs.
There would be signs.
Yeah.
The sign would be.
You wouldn't tell anybody, but
I wouldn't tell anyone. Yeah, you would just see the 50s, and they'd be like, Andrew doesn't do many speaker reviews anymore. Be like, who am I kidding? The sign would be, I'd have like a Riva.
Yeah.
I'd have like a Riva, and be like, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about, I don't care. It's like, what background is that? That's the Mediterranean Sea. I have watched your reviews so much over the last year. I needed to contribute to membership. Also, my son is finally getting into hi-fi. We recently had listened to the Focal Grand Utopias while on vacation. That's awesome. What a great speaker too, that Focal line. It's still a favorite of mine. Someone had asked, it did come up, I saw it in the comments of our 50 review. Someone asked how the 50s compare to Focal's new powered speaker line. Do you remember what the actual specific name was of that speaker, babe?
I'm so sorry. I wasn't paying attention. Can you please repeat that?
The Focal powered speaker. The Diva.
The thing covered in felt?
Yeah, that you can now get
in multiple
finishes and colors, because Focal just launched their Atelier, however you want to pronounce it, program very similar to Bang & Olufsen. Obviously, per my last check online, the Focal is a less expensive option. Maybe not quite as flexible in terms of total customization and things that you can do with it. Obviously, the ecosystem around Bang & Olufsen in terms of home theater and whole home audio and just lifestyle control in general is decades ahead of where Focal is right now. So if you're looking for powered, high-end stereo speakers, they are an option. I don't think they're better than the 50s, just being 100% transparent, but you are likely going to save 10 or 15 grand going with the Focals over something like the 50s. So that may be the deciding factor for you. But at the same time, if you're like, well, but I want, the whole package, the whole experience, the whole everything, nothing against the Focal, but they don't have that yet, and they haven't built that out yet. That's the benefit of a brand like B&O being around for 100 years and kind of committing to the frictionless lifestyle of sound, television, whole home automation I mean, they committed to that back in the 90s before it was really a thing. And they've been working decade over decade towards that seamless integration ever since. So it's going to take time for someone like a Focal to catch up, if that's even something they want to do. But speaker to speaker, the Divas are a great option, but I think the 50s are better. The one thing the Divas have that the 50s don't is integrated HDMI. To get HDMI with the 50s, you have to add the core. Small price to pay, in my opinion, because it's so small of a device, it's easy to hide. But the Divas have that built in. But in terms of passive Focal speakers, if you want to be in the passive game, like Focal makes great stuff, especially at the Grand Utopia, the Utopia line in general, up and down that line. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I own a Basics 8. I'm going to say 2. Is that an A2 and an Audiophonics Hypix amp, an XDA3, PT2 pre, XDA sounds bad, running balanced to the Encore, every other combo sounds great. Why? XDA sounds bad, running balance. XDA, oh, the XDA3, is that DAC? Emo, oh, hold on guys, hold on. Emotiva XDA3. That's the DAC. Yeah. To be honest with you, I didn't like that DAC. I was sent one early on for the potential for a review, and I honestly sent it back. It did not impress me. It didn't really work right, in my humble opinion. Now, that was very early on. Maybe there's been some firmware updates that have improved its performance, but I can't really speak to what you may be experiencing, except to say that when it comes to the XDA DAC, I personally didn't like it. So do with that information what you want. Golf Addict, says my brother. Looking for good sounding Bluetooth speaker for all genres, budget around $1,000. Have been looking at the JBL Authentics 500, the Bowers & Wilkins Zeppelin, or the DVLA 98s. Your thought? The JBL Authentics, we have one of those. That was one of those products that just showed up one day. This was, gosh, I think it showed up one day over a year ago. It was not part of any sort of review plan or anything like that. It was just, ta-da, here you go. We have one, and I remember playing it when we got it. It's been boxed up in the garage ever since. It's very bassy, very big, boomy, party, bassy kind of sound. It didn't necessarily wow me, and while the old school kind of JBL Century or JBL L100 grill was cool, the rest of it felt pretty cheap. That I was sort of like, what were we saying? Are you saying that the JBL Authentics, that all-in-one kind of Bluetooth speaker of theirs that has like the L100 grill, foam square grill, and then it's wrapped in like fake leather. It's you remember that Klipsch, the 3, yeah, I remember that all-in-one square radio that you used to have on your desk. Yeah, it's basically JBL's version of that. We were sent one. Again, I don't know how we were sent one. I don't remember who sent it to us. It might have been JBL's PR team at the time. It wasn't sent to us really for review. It just showed up. And it's a lot of output in terms of volume, like a ton of output. It sounds massive, but it's also kind of big, and it's just very bass heavy. And, you know, it is what it is. It probably, you know, if you're looking for just, I need to fill space, it probably does very well with customers that buy it. The Zeppelin, we also have a Zeppelin.
We don't have it.
Well, it's in for review. It's in for evaluation. We don't own it. I think as long as you are 100% okay with wireless everything, like this thing does not have inputs to the, I'm going off my memory because again, it's boxed at the moment. It's very limited in terms of physical connections. This is a Bluetooth AirPlay speaker. And when I was using it as a quote soundbar via AirPlay and Bluetooth, it has some delay issues, so I don't even recommend it for that.
Is this something that came when I was like gone or out of town?
It came.
I don't know about any of this.
You saw it. You saw it in. Yeah, you were out of town dealing with your family. But anyway, it's the kind of long, elongated football-shaped speaker.
Oh, I thought that was something we got like years ago.
No. We got it this
Austin.
year. No, we got it this year.
Is it another one?
It's the new one. We got one in Austin.
Okay.
We got one in Austin, and then this is the new one.
Okay.
Zeppelin Pro or whatever it is. I happen to like how it sounds. It's just limited in what it can do. So there's that. As for the DVLA, we also had all of the DVLA speakers. The new stuff. The stuff that just was announced that's supposedly shipping at the end of this month. We had every single piece of it. And we had it for weeks, if not close to a month. And we were going to review it. It has some bugs. They are aware. We have made them aware. They've even been able to replicate and confirm our findings. All of our DVLA products were sent back to France for dissection and further firmware updates and all of that. I have every fiber of my being knowing what I know about the company and how responsive and professional they were during that period where we're like, hey, this isn't working, this doesn't work right. They're on it. They're 100% on it. But I cannot review that speaker, and I won't review that speaker until it's sent back to me with those fixes.
Well, the other thing was that in addition to just like some of the bugs, like, functional bugs that we were experiencing, we were told once we started having the conversation about the problems we were running into, we were then told they were also going to potentially do something via an update that could potentially change the like sound,
the voicing,
the voicing. Thank you, of the product. Yeah, and we were like, we can't review this.
Yeah, we appreciated very much.
So people who are reviewing it,
I'm not really sure what they're.
I hope they know.
Yeah.
Some of these
things, or they've said as much.
Yeah.
I have every intention of reviewing those speakers when they are quote publicly available. I sincerely, and I mean this, I sincerely appreciate that DVLA got us everything early. It's just, it was an eye-opening experience, not only to run into bugs that they were then fixing in kind of real time, but also that they themselves may or may not have been 100% settled on the final voicing of the speaker. And I want to review a finished product. And when the conversation got to that stage, that's when we're like, hey, no harm, no foul. We're not upset, but you do need to take this all back and contact us again when everything is actually, when I can be sent what a customer gets. Because then I can actually review and comment on what the potential user experience is going to be. In my humble opinion, and this is just my opinion, as Kristi kind of alluded to just a moment ago, anything about the new DVLA speakers that is out there in the world that's, quote, by a third party, grain of salt, it may not be a finished product until it actually starts shipping to customers. So getting back to your question, when the DVLAs were working and we found their sweet spot, I really liked them. I thought they sounded really good. It's kind of amazing what they're able to coax out of what is arguably such a small cabinet in terms of scale, volume, bass, dynamics, all clarity, all of those things. So I'm very eager to play with them again. But I can't really give you a definitive answer out of any of the three. If I had to rank them, the JBL Authentics I get is the cheapest option. I think it's the last on my list. The Zeppelin I think is super sexy. I love the form factor of it, and as long as you know that you're okay with just Bluetooth, AirPlay, or wireless kind of connectivity, it is a nice option. I do think the best all-around speaker, let's just say 100 when it's 100% functional, the best all-around speaker though is the DVLA in your trio.
They are expensive,
but they are you're paying for that. You're paying for that for sure. Best speaker for a 2.1 system. I'm thinking about KEF Q4 Meta or maybe KEF 10 Sub. I mean, I think the new Q Meta line is really good. I think it's so good, in fact, that it tiptoes really close to the R line. And as long as you're okay with the finish differences, and obviously the R line is finished a little nicer and a little bit more high end, as long as you're okay with the lesser finish of the Q line, you get more of the R performance than I think people realize with that Q line. So I think what you've put together is potentially a really nice 2.1 system. So I can't poke holes in it. Joey the Dime. Yamaha AS3200 setting up a B speaker channel in a different room for non-critical listening, jazz female vocals. Think Diana Krall, 75 dB, $2,500 budget, floor standing speaker recommendations. $2,500 floor standing speaker recommendation, non-critical listening. Well, Q Acoustic Concept 50s, they're like gone. I can't find those anywhere. KEF Q anything would be good. Can you get Sonus Faber Lumina 3s? Lumina 3s or Lumina... I don't think you can get Lumina 5s. Lumina 3s for $2,500 for the pair. Just out of reach. Lumina 3s are going to run you $3,000 for the pair. But boy, they are just a nice, small, easygoing, good sounding tower. They don't punch too much above the Lumina 2 bookshelf speakers, to be 100% honest, but you did say floor standing speaker. Jazz, $2,500 budget. I mean, there's a part of me that goes, well, let's go for vibes too at $2,500, but I don't think Heresies, I think Heresies cost more than $2,500. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. Oh, yeah, $3,600 now. Woo, woo.
$3,600 for Heresies?
For Heresies, yeah.
For the pair?
For the pair. I want to say they used to be about $3,000 or $2,899. Yeah. I mean, Polk Reserve line, whatever's still kicking around there. You don't have to go with R700s, for big towers or anything like that, but their smaller towers would be good.
What about the floor standing speakers?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, we haven't reviewed. I was going to say the Elec bookshelves, but we haven't. We don't know anything about their towers.
But honestly, the bookshelves are so good. Go ahead and throw those on the list. Oh, do you remember? Here's this. No one watched this video. No one watched this video. KLH. What was that line called? Everyone thinks the Model 5.
Oh my God, wasn't it F or something?
Yeah, so not the Model 3, not the Model 5.
Hold on.
It's
I can pull it up.
those were stupid good.
The Kindles.
Kendalls.
I'm going to drop a link
Yeah.
to the review in
Those
the
were
chat.
stupid good. And no one cared about that review, but boy, you should have. Those were Polk 700 level good with a better finish, a smaller footprint. Oh, they were good. They were good. So there's some options for you, Joey. Chris Veltman, let's enter make-believe land. If computers, iPhones didn't exist, what would be your hi-fi setup? Back to reality. Will you ever hi-fi without an iPhone again? Okay, what would be my hi-fi setup? To be honest with you, Chris, I would still have what I have. It would still be Bang & Olufsen. I just go back to my 3500 CD player, or that their 6-discer. And then people forget, because obviously there hasn't been much of a market for it, but B&O used to make other components too, turntable, CD player, but they had at one point in the early Dolby Surround or Dolby Digital age, they had a receiver, or a processor, I should say, that would have enabled you to not have, use a phone or anything like that. But I would still have that, because that was kind of my peak happiness too, in terms of just coming home, listening to music and all of that, having that CD player with the glass doors. I bought mine secondhand, because by the time I could afford it, it wasn't something that it was still in the stores, and so I bought mine secondhand. So mine had the little storage in it too, that you could like write a small amount of songs to memory. So I would probably have something like that. But will hi-fi ever exist without an iPhone again? I mean, there's probably people watching this right now, or people that watch the channel, where for them hi-fi has never gone quote digital or gone wireless to the phone or a tablet or whatnot. And to those people, I say that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Then that's kind of the beauty of the hobby, is that you can kind of scale it back. You can be as retro or as future forward as you want to be. There's something for everybody, which I think is awesome. Me personally, like, is there ever a reality where I'm not using some aspect of modern connectivity or convenience? No. And I'm not saying that from the standpoint of, some people like to say, I put up with scratches and pops and records for 20 years and, pristine quality of CD and now streaming. Why would you go back? I don't really care in that sense. That's not the reason why I do it. I just think it's super cool, to have things automated. Like, I watched movies as a kid, like Back to the Future 2, Jetsons cartoons and stuff like that. And it's like, that is a future I want to live in. And in some respects we're there, in other respects we're so not. And call it a kind of a utopia, if you will, like the Star Trek future, where it's like you use tech to better your life, not necessarily you just use it to better your life. And I'm always chasing that. Always, always, always. So for me, I don't want to go backwards.
I think if computers and iPhones and the digital world didn't exist,
Mm-hmm.
I think we would, but everything else remained the same. I think we'd have a really hard time finding new music.
That is also true.
Because if iPhones don't exist, that means there's no social media. So you're going back to relying on an older school way of learning about new musicians, and that is through the radio, or going out to see live music. Now, I always would recommend going out to your local, place that has bands come in.
Hmm.
Obviously, if you can do that, do it. But as far as radio stations these days, like they're so homogenized because they've been bought up by conglomerates and they're all playing the same 4 songs. So we have such a wealth of information and options available to us. I don't know why anyone would want to go back.
Hmm.
You know, those are just my thoughts, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say, like you said, discovering some of my favorite music to listen to nowadays that's on such massive rotation. It's purely because I'll choose some random Apple playlist, piano or jazz or lounge or whatever, and then it's like, ooh, what's that? And you just hit the heart button, and now I'm fed that music all the time, and it's great. So, yeah, that's how I feel. I guess what? I think I got all caught up on that one. I think I'm all caught up. Armand, thank you for
Armando, did you answer one of
I did
their
his
questions?
best speaker for 2.1 systems, the Metas.
Well, I saw one of their chats say, well, they actually meant on-wall speakers. I don't know if that changes your answer. I mean, I would say
no.
The options that you presented, go and look for their on-wall versions if they're available.
Yeah, I have no problem if the KEF-Q line in general, based on my experience with it, up and down the line, I don't think there's a bad product in that line at the moment, the new one. So if you need the on-walls, they're definitely going to need a subwoofer. So get that. But I think you're going to be fine. I think you'll be just fine. Is there any conversations going on in the background that I need to be aware of?
People keep asking about this Onkyo icon
system
that we do not have, and
we do not have it. It has been requested. Onkyo is aware that I would like to review it, and I have been told by their rep that when units become available or when the product is shipping, we will get one. ETA, no idea. No idea. Is there anything else that I'm besides the Onkyo? I'm scrolling around
trying to
here.
go back to see if there's anything worth mentioning. Goodness, sorry, you caught me off guard. There was one question that somebody asked multiple times, but now I can't find it.
Oh, wow, Joey, Joey works quick. Thank you, Andrew and Kristi. Found a pair of Sonus Faber Lumina 3s for $2,700 online. Just grabbed them. Well, there you go. Oh, sorry, guys. You're going to see a black screen of death.
What'd you do?
YouTube just crashed on me.
It's crashed on me twice.
All right. 2 seconds.
I don't know if anyone else has had any issues.
2 seconds, guys. I apologize if you're going to see a black screen of death here. I'm getting back up and running.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. Clem says it's been awful today. It's been crashing on him too. This was the first crash I've experienced, and I knew something was coming because the scroll was starting to goof on me.
Well, here's a question while you wait for all that nonsense to clear up. We will get to you, Joey. What piece of gear inspires you the most these days?
What piece of gear inspires me the most?
Yeah.
What piece of gear? Like, what do you mean inspires?
I don't know.
To be honest, I mean, if we're talking hi-fi, the BLAB 50s or Bang & Olufsen as a brand inspires me on many levels. Obviously auditory, but it inspires me on creative levels too. Like, it makes me think And it makes me wonder, like, what else can be done? How far can this be pushed? Like, what do I want to change, or how do I want to configure it today? So that's inspiring. Aside from like the hi-fi world, this TV we have in for review right now is making me question everything. I have to actually write that review this weekend, and that's going to be fun because there's a lot to go over, and not from like a technical standpoint, but from a like growth human side of things. Like, I don't know, I'm inspired by that. But I think lately what's been inspiring me is, I hate to say it, and this, I'm not sponsored or anything like that, not that we ever are, Blackmagic, the camera company. I'm learning to be better at what I do because their cameras give me the flexibility and the ability to grow and not worry about the next best thing or the next tech thing around like, I still have not achieved the full capability of what I have, and the community around their products is such that I'm basically going to school in the early morning hours every day, taking like online classes and stuff, because there's just so much more to learn and so much more to be better at. And that's been a really nice thing for me, like on my own personal time, that has been very inspiring and challenging and fun, to be honest. So yeah, there you go. Let's see.
There was a question that came up from Jose Carlos Onofre Huerta. Hi guys, there's a trend of anger about this year's releases. They're meaning music releases being of very bad audio quality of several aspects. Why would that be?
I mean,
is it really? That would be my first response. I just think people like to complain about things.
As someone, look, I'll say this much. As someone that creates content and has created content for their entire professional career, not just on like YouTube, the act of creating anything is a process. And the act of creating anything at a high level is not only a process, but you get there through repetition. You get there through learning. And in some cases, you also get there through budget. I'm not saying that you have to spend a ton of money, millions of dollars, to master something at a high level. You don't necessarily. But those Venn diagrams where you're like, I want something good, I want something cheap, and then I want something fast. And, you know, those things don't always add up. Getting back to like the Blackmagic thing that I was just talking about, like, it's not that I don't know how to shoot, or it's not that I don't know how to expose or take a picture or shoot video, but there's always ways to become better at it. There's always ways to improve your craft. And sometimes when, you know, for example, the music industry, maybe the budgets aren't quite there like they used to be. And we know this for a fact, you know, and people are releasing stuff independently, and that's fine. And I'm not saying that you don't need to go about creating things the way that you used to, but creating things the way that you used to also came with maybe a larger team of people, of knowledgeable professionals and things like that, because everything's been so democratized and everything is so technical and so at the palm of your hand. A lot more people are getting involved, and that's great. The world needs more art. It needs more expression. But at the same time, you know, I learned things just in the past 2 weeks that I did not know. And I've been doing this for a long time. And I literally didn't know it. Like, I was like, oh my God. It's not that I never heard of this concept. It's that I've heard of the concept. I was just doing it wrong. And what a difference in just learning the order of where to put filters and place filters, just getting that order right changed everything. Now imagine music, like, you write a good song, you mix it and all of that, but just having someone with more experience coming along and saying, hey, if you just take this and put it here and this and put it there, it's going to sound better than what you currently have. If that person doesn't have that input, or if that person doesn't know to seek that input out, that could be influencing the quote quality of what you're hearing. At the same time, though, I am a staunch believer, and I don't believe anyone wakes up in the morning to do any sort of job and do it poorly. I think it's just an ongoing evolution. So anger about this year's releases being very bad audio quality, to each their own. I mean, I've listened to some stuff that people are like, this is terrible. And it's like, what do you want it to be? And then I've listened to a bunch of stuff from, audiophiles who are like, this is the finest recording ever. And I'm like, you couldn't pay me to listen to that music. I get that it's pristine. I get that it's perfect, and the recording quality, I will give you that. Like it clearly has been recorded within an inch of its life to perfection, but I don't want to listen to it. That's to me, that kind of stuff it's not music. There's no emotion. That is purely stuff that is being recorded to test the technical limitations of something, whether it's the person's skill level, or it's the technology, it's the microphone, it's the this, it's the that. Because I think I made an off comment remark in a live stream at one point about music, like audiophile music, and why for the most part I can't stand it. You can't groove to it, and I think I used another. You can't have sex to it, basically, and that's true. Like you like these like single like boom, boom, and then like a flute in the distance, and it's just all this kind of disjointed noise for the purpose of being able to sit in a chair and be like, wow, this stuff's really recreated well. And it's like, I don't care. I just don't care. That's not, to me, it is music to somebody. It's not music to me. I would rather listen to Sabrina Carpenter, or anything besides that.
Someone asked earlier in the chat or in the stream, they had gotten a new system set up, and what songs or whatnot should they use to test their new system. And I responded, and I was like, listen to what you love and what you know.
Yeah.
Like this idea that you need to listen to some specific thing to test your gear is weird to me, but I'm also not as entrenched in the rules of being an audiophile as some people are.
Mm-hmm.
I think what better way to test your new whatever speaker, amp, or whatever it is than to pull up your favorite song.
Yeah.
Whatever our favorite thing is to listen to, or whatever we listen to, may not be applicable to you whatsoever. So,
I mean,
anyway.
No, it's true. It's true. Like, I can tell you, like, one of the songs that I listen to a lot, I will fully admit to you, I don't think if you were to put me in front of a dozen different record producers of all generations, and if you were to put me in front of a dozen different audiophile editors of however many generations, I don't think there would be a consensus among the 24 people I've just outlined that this song is well recorded or even good. And that is Most Wanted, which is a duet between Miley Cyrus and Beyonce. Yeah. Like, there are aspects of the song that are a little rough, a little rough, a little raw. I don't know if it was put there in post or as the result of some effect that was done in post, or if it was the fact that these two vocals were recorded remotely, and these two artists, women, were not even in the same room, and this was all pieced together because of just the way the world works and scheduling and all of that. I don't know. I'm not a fly on the wall. So are there aspects of the song that are great? Absolutely. Are there aspects that are a little rough around the edges? Sure. I listen to that song all the frickin' time because I just like it. And I think it sounds great, flaws and all. I know a lot of people like to listen to like Dire Straits. I can't stand that music.
Oh, I love Dire Straits.
I can't stand that music. It makes me go, oh, wow. Boy, was that a different time. But at the same time, Kristi started watching Dawson's Creek on Netflix yesterday or day before.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched that show since forever.
And
I was on our Nordic Track treadmill,
Yeah.
and I have been listening using Audible,
Mm-hmm.
to listen to books or podcasts. Just a little side rant here. F that app. Okay, it's
Audible.
It's so bad. At least it is on our Nordic Track. Could it be the operating system of the Nordic Track? It maybe, but anyway, sucks. And half the time won't play anything. So I went to Netflix, which is also an app on the
Nordic Track.
which
works great.
Which works great. So
works great.
probably Audible that sucks. Anyway, pulled up Dawson's Creek because if you have a spouse, there are shows you watch together, and you can't just watch any old thing without the other person. There are rules. And so I was like, oh, I saw Dawson's Creek. I'm like, that'll be fun. Pulled it up. Man, what a fantastic pilot episode that was. But anyway, I totally interrupted you.
No, I was just going to say.
And the music in that first episode or two, boy,
look,
some bangers.
The Dawson's
bangers
Creek soundtrack for the 5 years that it was on the air basically scored everyone's adolescence around that time. But much like you start listening to lyrics from songs from bands, the 70s or early 80s or whatever, much like Dawson's Creek, the pilot, like one of the key storylines is a 15-year-old high school kid having sexual relationship with his English teacher. And
super problematic.
To the point where no, they play it out and you're not supposed to have a problem with it. And I was just like, I forgot that was a thing. Anyway.
There were actually quite a few topics in the first couple of episodes of Dawson Creek that are pretty adult.
Yeah.
That I don't think that my younger brain quite grasped.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty bold
show,
especially for its time. Anyway, sound off in the comments on your thoughts about Dawson's Creek.
But someone else asked shows, any shows coming. Chris asked, any shows coming up that you're excited about? Well, we started watching season, was it 3 of Diplomat last night?
Oh my God. I love Carrie Russell.
Yeah.
She is... I was thinking about her last night when I was trying to fall asleep, and some of the scenes in this new season.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to be nominated for all the awards.
All the awards.
Her, especially, I'm not going to do any spoilers for you, but the first episode, there's so much subtlety in her, her reactions, her acting. Oh, just chef's kiss, man. Carrie, if anyone knows Carrie Russell, oh man, she deserves all the flowers. Such a good show. It's so heady. Man.
No, it was great. It was great. Oh gosh.
What
was it's that new show on Apple TV. It's basically Con Air crashes in Alaska.
Oh, the Frontier show?
Not Frontier. It's on Apple.
The
wow.
one where the convicts
The
crash?
convicts crash.
Isn't it? I thought it was called The Last
The
Frontier.
Last Frontier, is that what it's called? Wow. Turn your brain off, it's fine. Turn your brain off. It's fine. Don't think about it too long. The show falls apart if you pay attention to it for more than 30 seconds instead of just looking at the beautiful Dolby Vision visuals. It falls apart. Like the show, roll credits, 5 minutes in, you can solve all of this.
Task was pretty good. The Mark Ruffalo.
That was great in totality. Slow burn.
Yeah.
Slow burn, but great in totality. What's her face from Goonies, though?
Oh my gosh.
She's awesome.
Who is it? Is it Samantha? Someone tell me in the comments.
Yeah.
She was in Goonies.
In Goonies. Yeah. She's great in that show. Task.
Her one-liners. Holy crap.
Yes.
Just feed
so
it
good.
to me with a spoon.
So good. But no, that Last Frontier is garbage. It's pretty garbage.
Oh, Martha Plimpton.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was. I'm thinking of some other 80s person.
Maybe.
Anyway, thank you, Clem.
But no, the Last Frontier was garbage. Task was good.
Alien Earth.
Earth.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Such a freaking amazing show.
Yeah.
So good. From the absolute killer end credit soundtrack. Oh, if you came up in the 90s, let me tell you what.
Yeah, there's some music.
Love it.
There's some music you need to play on your systems right there.
So good, so good. The cinematography is amazing. I think the acting's pretty good.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that are like, they're like audiophiles, but they're dyed in the wool for Alien.
Cinephiles and
you know, like
fanboys.
You're upset about the lore or whatever. I don't know. Get over it. Or just don't watch.
Yeah.
I mean,
quit
you have choices.
I will say, Alien Earth, I like the show. I do. I think it is very well done. But
Timothy Oliphant,
yep.
However you say his name. God, love him so much.
But I think that show really set me off on my new rage bait, which is can we please stop with the seasons that are 4 to 8 episodes long? That's not a season. That's a fart in an elevator. You can't, stop it. You're making miniseries or you're making anthologies. Stop calling it seasons. I cannot tell you. First of all, when it comes to streaming, I'm so angry that everyone's gone back to the TV model where it's it's a season and I'm going to make you wait a whole week to watch the next episode and then the next episode, but I'm not even going to get you through a fiscal quarter. You're going to get 4 weeks of entertainment out of me, and then we'll see you in 3 years. We're going to end on a cliffhanger, and then we're going to see you in 2 or 3 years because we don't know if anything's ever going to get picked up or redone or whatnot. And Alien Earth was that problem. It was over in 7 episodes, and the episode that it ended on and the way that it ended felt like the perfect middle of what would be a full season. And instead it's supposedly the end. And to the best of my knowledge, I don't know if it's been picked up for season 2 or not. So it didn't.
Clem says he's excited for Stranger Things. Are you?
Why?
Who can even remember?
The kids have graduated college at this point.
Yeah, they're married.
At this point, it's going to be so awkward watching 11 try and be 13. I mean, she has a kid. In real life, she has a kid. it's oh my gosh. So yeah. The whole and this, I'm about to face it with Diplomat. There's only 7 episodes of that season. It's
yeah, but it's so good.
Yeah,
it's so good. And what's the other lady that's in it? Janny.
Oh, Allison Jenny.
Oh God,
she's great. She's not doing enough. They haven't given her enough to do just yet, but I have a feeling her day in the sun is coming.
Yeah.
Um,
We watched The Paper, which is like The Office, but
oh
with
yeah,
based around a newspaper. As
yeah,
someone that used to work at a newspaper, I find it pretty funny. Um, is it just The Office at a different office? Basically, yes.
basically,
But if you need a break from all the BS that's happening
yeah.
in our news cycle,
It's a
it's really great. It's a great show to just kind of turn your brain off.
yeah.
Highly recommend.
Wirehead says, "Hate to be a Debbie Downer, but the new Tron is simply awful." Yeah, I could have probably told you that without needing to see it. Uh, um, I'll still watch it once it hits streaming because it'll look great in Dolby Vision, but it's definitely going to be one of those where like you watch it for a scene or two and you're like, okay, yeah, a little bit of a system flex, and then you just move on. Um, let's see. There was something else that I just saw here. It lost me at Jared Leto. Yeah, yeah. He's on a bit of a quote hot streak. if if you want your movie to absolutely crater into the ground, put him on the poster. Let's see. So yeah. I can't even tell you I can't even tell you like that's the one thing, and I might make a video on this, but the one thing that's become difficult about being I'm such a film buff. Like I love movies. I do. I want to watch movies more than I want to watch TV shows. Everything has become a damn TV show or a series. When in reality, the series now rant part 2. In reality, a 6-part quote season or series is really just a 3-hour movie that they couldn't edit. You know? And so everything's just getting broken into like 33-minute, 23-minute, 44-minute episodes because it's like you really just have a movie and then you decided to chop it up because much like everything being called a podcast, that's what people just think it needs to be. No, you're just making long form YouTube content and you're holding the mic. I guess that makes it a podcast. Anyway, I love movies, except there's not great. Hey, Katie. There's not like I remember when I worked at the theaters and high school and stuff, being a 90s kid, like every weekend you didn't just have like one must-see movie. There were like 3 that almost every weekend. I mean, January, February were always still kind of the doldrums of cinema. That's where they put stuff that they didn't know what to do with. But for the most part, you get to about Valentine's Day till Christmas, like it's just banger after banger after banger. There's so much content that was worth seeing. Now, I couldn't tell you. Like, I mean, I still have my old tendency of being in the movie. Like, it's a movie, it's new, I buy it, I watch it. But my library, albeit virtual, it's just full of garbage. It's so full of garbage. Like the new Naked Gun movie was terrible. Sorry, not sorry. Like even for a Naked Gun, I'm like, what? And maybe Naked Gun movies just never were that good. But when you're 10 years old going, oh, that's a sex joke. But now you're, you're 50 and you're like, really? Like we're still there?
Well, I will say, as far as Naked Gun goes, and I agree, it was just horrible. We've also been watching Peacemaker, and just after we watched Naked Gun, we watched one of the episodes of Peacemaker, and there was a line of dialogue that was very Naked Gun-esque, but the delivery was good.
Yeah.
The timing was good. The writing was good.
Yeah.
I cannot say the same for whatever that was in Naked Gun.
Well, and just before some people get in our comments and have feels about this, I don't think season 2 of Peacemaker was exceptional. there were bits in there that were brilliant, but on the whole, especially the quote last episode, which may or may not be the actual last episode, was terrible. One of the worst ways to wrap up not just a season, but quote the series. It was like, whoa. But now I guess James Gunn actually has a bonus episode, but I don't know when it's dropping.
I joked that he saw the hate for the last episode and it was like,
get everyone
shoot,
back
real quick.
Get everyone back. But yeah, it's like I've been watching stuff on my old movie server more than I've cared to watch the new stuff. Now I do want to watch Weapons, and I almost bought it the other day, but I know that it's coming to HBO Max like next week, and I already pay for Max, so I'm just gonna wait.
People keep mentioning One Battle.
That's the new, was it Paul Thomas Anderson?
After Another.
Yeah,
saying
that's
it's
the
really good.
Leonardo DiCaprio movie that's gonna lose like $200 million total in the box office. I will totally watch that, but I'll watch it when it hits Apple and I'll download it. But I am excited to see that. I do want to see Weapons. I'll probably see Weapons next week when it hits HBO. But aside from that, like, I downloaded Fantastic Four for just new content to maybe film. Wow. Do not care. Could care. Like, that movie was awful. Looked pretty, sort of. CG, like,
Which movie again?
Fantastic Four. Like, I liked the art direction.
Oh,
I liked the
I
concept
was bored.
but it wasn't great. And like, why does CG suck all of a sudden? To be honest, like, I was watching, I was demoing Transformers 2, like Revenge of the Fallen. Not a great movie. I'm not trying to tell anyone it's a great movie, but the visual effects in Transformers 2, vastly superior to Fantastic Four. And there's like 15 years between those two movies. So yeah. So that's where I'm at. Just the new stuff isn't intriguing. And I can watch old movies, or I can watch movies that have been a part of my collection on repeat. But this one over here can't stand that. So we do have our battles over the system, because we have to watch everything together, but we don't necessarily like watching the same things. Like right now on the treadmill, I started watching End of Days, which is a 1999 Arnold Schwarzenegger quote thriller. It's awful, but I'm watching it on the treadmill. Now, would I love to put it on the big screen here? Sure. But I would never hear the end of it from QC over here, because she'd be like, this is so bad. Look at those effects. Yeah, they're 1999 effects on a budget, and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to play like a dramatic role, and it's about End of Days and Y2K and all of that. So yeah. Yeah. I'm watching it on a treadmill. My little, what is it, 17-inch screen? One LED backlight, the hottest zone in the middle you've ever seen. Like you want to talk about vignetting. It's just like the brightest part of that screen is dead smack dab in the middle, and then it just fades out. Anywho, what are we talking about? Just Clem writes, just watch Lord of the Rings. Is that Lord of the Lord of the Rings again? You guys want to peep behind the curtain? I've never been able to finish any of those movies. I've seen all of them in chunks, but I cannot make it through an entire Lord of the Rings or Hobbit movie in one sitting. Can't do it. I've tried so many times. I can't do it. But
this should not be surprising to anyone who also knows that he doesn't like Star Wars.
So. No, I don't like Star Wars. And they've only gotten worse. I didn't know how something could be bad and then get worse, but that's what they did.
But then he'll watch the worst garbage.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Because it's over in 90 minutes. It's over in 100 minutes. Like, that's the part that, like, pacing used to be a thing. Respect for people's afternoons and evenings used to be a thing. Like, you used to be able to leave the house.
Oh my God, you sound like an old man.
To leave the house at 6:30, 7 o'clock, eat dinner, go see a movie, and you got home at like 10:30, 11 o'clock, and you still had some energy. Now movies are 3 hours, 3.5 hours for no reason. No reason. And everyone, I don't care, every movie reviewer, I don't really watch a lot of movie reviews, but sometimes they pop up on my YouTube feed. Every single movie review I have seen for 5 years running, there's always a comment like, yeah, you probably could have cut about 23 minutes out of that movie. Every movie, every single one. And then you go home and you watch this movie and you're like, yeah, you could have cut a lot more than 23 minutes out of this thing. Like, what the very last Mission Impossible, like, mad respect to Tom Cruise, like, just going for it, man, and doing the stuff at his age, looking better than I've ever looked at my peak. Good on you, dude. But holy balls, that movie was long. And got a bit slapsticky there in the end. It's like
Mr. Martini says Andrew's out on the back patio yelling at the clouds. That is for sure.
Well, now that the weather's better. Yeah. I was actually yelling at the clouds when the big hurricane stuff came through on the West Coast this past weekend, man. Oh, here we go. Here's a funny story. This is how I know I'm not an old person. A woman in our neighborhood,
oh my God,
walked up onto our property, like went to windows in our living room, dining room, kitchen, or whatever. Couldn't figure out how to get to our front door. Thank God. And then just started to walk away. And Kristi sees her through the window. She's like, I think someone's on our property. So I go outside, I go through the gate, and she's like standing in our driveway. And she's like, I just wanted you to know, like, did you notice, because of all this rain, did you notice this erosion? Yeah, I noticed. When you have your 100-year flood, like, you can make all the best plans for rain and erosion, but sometimes Mother Nature just cleans your clock. And I'm like, I'll go take a look at it so that she's aware that I'm aware. So I go out there, and yeah, it's the same erosion that I've seen for the last 3 or 4 days, and it's still raining. So like,
yeah, it was literally raining while
raining.
They were having this conversation.
Yeah, and so I'm like, how am I supposed to fix it when it's still eroding? And she would have never. And she just stands out there, and she's like, "What you need to do is," and I'm like, I don't know you. We've never met. Like, you're just some rando jogger in our neighborhood.
If anyone's on Threads and was able to catch the crochet saga that happened, some older woman had a Thread account and was posting about her crochet project.
Yeah.
And clearly didn't realize that her posts were public. Shoot, she maybe didn't even realize she was posting on Threads. Who knows? But someone commented, was like, hey, what you making? And her response was, I don't know you. I'm not going to tell you. I don't know you. Anyway, I'm probably not retelling it as well as had you been there. It was funny, but this is kind of what you want to tell these randos. We have more randos that will come up on our property. And it's not like back in Austin where all the houses were really close together, and we lived off a busy street. And you really do know your neighbors because you're forced to look at them because you're 5 feet from their
you
driveway.
Passed sugar through the window.
Right. But where we live now, I mean, everyone has a decent size lot.
Yeah.
And
at least in our neighborhood,
the people that go out of their way to try to come and tell you things. I mean, when we were putting our pool in, we had some rando guy come up, and I'm in the bedroom. I'm in our bedroom, and I see
he was leaning against our bedroom window.
outside of our bedroom window, and I go find Andrew, and I'm like, there's some man in our backyard. And we go out there, and he's just surveying the crew that's putting in the pool, like standing on the edge of where the pool was being dug was not safe, and just we're like, hey, you shouldn't be, like, who are you? You shouldn't be back here.
You shouldn't be here. This is a job site. You got to wear. And he's like, I literally went over. I said, sir, you can't stand there. And he looked me dead in the eye. At my house, on my property, on my construction site, looked me dead in the eye and said, no, I'm good. I have never had the what's the word? Like
audacity?
It's not even that. I've never experienced a level of entitlement like that where I could be a guest, uninvited, on someone's property, witnessing something that they are going through, and have the audacity and the entitlement to say, no, I'm good. I wanted to shove him in the hole so bad. Like, I was just, oh my gosh. But that happens all the time.
No, Chris says, those neighbors are why I want your speakers to play up to 120 dB without distortion. Funny thing that we just got
the new bylaws for
the bylaws from our HOA. Talking about
Jeez.
all the stupid things in HOA. We talk about one being, sound ordinances and stuff. I want a bylaw where it says, don't come up to my freaking house unless I know you or you're delivering something. Yeah. How about we start there?
Leave me alone. Like, we built a wall around this place.
You freaking crazy for assholes. Reason. Like, mind your business.
Like, we didn't take out a home improvement loan to build a wall for no reason. Like,
and this woman with the erosion problem, she's lucky I wasn't out there, because I would have asked for her Venmo to give me the $6,000 or whatever. It's
$10,000.
$10,000 it's going to cost to put the rock on, the hillside that she was referring to. Like, bitch, things cost money.
Yeah.
Get out the rain.
Yeah. So anyway,
go home.
It stopped raining. Monday of this week. Tuesday, I'm out there by myself with a shovel and rock, and I'm fixing this erosion, and I had every intention of fixing it. It's just, you can't fix it when it's still fucking raining. So anyway, I fixed it. I moved like a ton of rock. There's a few more things I got to move, but it's done. It's done. It's not a big deal. The amount of people, and the other thing, the amount of realtors that just peek over our fence and our wall or pull into our driveway and just sit there. It's like, what are you doing? Sorry, there's a plane.
Anyway,
I realized that we have been on a tangent for about 40 minutes.
You have a couple
and there's
of
some super chats I got to get to. I'm going to wait for that A10 Warthog to finish its flyover.
Chris says, my neighbor didn't like my Christmas lights last year. They came over and redid all the lights without permission, but the lights did look good. Stop mowing my lawn and see how that goes. That's so...
Yeah, I love that.
I wish that was the kind of gumption our neighbors had. Like, if you don't like something, why don't you go do it? Like, again, the lady is lucky I was not standing out there, because I would have grabbed a shovel and handed it to her and say, get to work.
Get to work. This erosion ain't going to fix itself, Karen. All right. How about we bring this back to hi-fi and home theater? Triple Lex, getting us back on track. Any thoughts on the new advanced? God dang it.
new Advanced Paris.
Any thoughts on the new Advanced Paris Nova Series amplifiers? It seems very well built. Any plans to review them?
You know what? We should just do it at this point.
All right, guys. It's not that I won't review Advanced Paris.
How do you say it? Heli?
Yeah.
Heli is checking your erosion repair. Mr. Martini, you're killing me. Oh my God.
It's not that I won't review Advanced Paris. We just had a conversation with their distributor. In fact, one of a contact that I've had in this industry for many, many years that was a distributor for another brand just joined the distributor for Advanced Paris. And even he called me about Advanced Paris. And I said, look, I'm not saying no. You guys, as distributors of Advanced Paris, just need to understand that I'm not going to toe the party line and say something about this brand or puff it up if it's not true. I get that it's a good value for money. I get that it has a lot of connectivity. I get that a lot of people like it. But I also get that it's gotten to this point because a lot of people have said that it is the same thing as Macintosh or it is the same thing as XYZ. And while that may garner clicks, it's not true. And I know that it's not true because I know where Advanced Paris products are actually made. I know the history behind that brand. And it might be under new ownership. It might have been turned around, but I've just been very honest with the distributors and saying I would review it and I will review it fairly. But if you're hoping for or looking to take whatever reach, whatever influence or platform we have to further this like it's Macintosh, I'm not doing that and I won't do it. And as soon as I say that, the conversation kind of stops. So it's a weird predicament to be in because would I like the experience? Sure. But I'm also not going to just puff them up if they're not worthy of that. And I do have a feeling that that's what's being done. So I don't know. Personally, and I will park my bias, if we ever do an Advanced Paris review, I will park my personal biases at the door. I don't think the products look all that sexy. To be perfectly blunt, they look like Emotiva amps with viewing windows for tubes in them. Sorry, not sorry. Not to say that Emotiva amps are necessarily ugly, it's just very utility. It's very utilitarian, and that is to Emotiva's credit. But at the same time, Emotiva is not necessarily going more and more upmarket. What now?
Sorry.
Isn't going more and more upmarket the way Advanced Paris is. Like Advanced Paris used to be like $800-900. Now they're in the thousands. Is anyone listening to me at this point?
Chris says if they called it Advanced Tallahassee, no one would care.
I mean, yeah, true.
Timu Macintosh. Oh guys, you're killing me.
You guys are bang. Yeah.
Oh man, speaking of Timu Macintosh, someone had the balls to say that Bang & Olufsen, like they had bought the 28s.
Oh, you're bringing up that guy?
Yeah, I am.
Oh gosh.
They had bought the 28s, a theater, and the 8s, and called them Timu Sonos, and how these products were terrible, cheap, and their Sonos Arc sounded better.
Yeah.
And how Andrew was a paid shill.
Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Miss me with that crap. You know what is it? The Righteous Gemstones.
Get out of here, nerd.
Get out of here, nerd. I don't have time for your worthless chime-ins.
Come on.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the best gift.
Yeah.
And we say it to each other all the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. The things I want to say to some people in the comments.
Yeah.
They're really not ready If Andrew would unleash me and let me say the things,
It would be our last video ever. It would be our last video
I'd be
ever.
like, lies, all lies. You don't have any of these products.
Anyway, we're off track. So back to Triple X, because you ask a very genuine question. I want to make sure that I'm genuine in my response, and that is, I don't have anything against Advanced Paris. I am dubious about some of the claims that have been made, knowing what I know of that brand's overall history and where the products have come from. Not to say that they haven't been made better or whatever under new stewardship, new name, because Advanced Paris is the new operating name. That's not the original company's name. You know, I would love to find out, but I'm an open book with people, especially distributors. I value my time very, very much. And so when people call, especially if I don't have an already existing relationship or understanding of a brand, like, you know, when the Focal distributor calls up and says, hey, do you want to review the new Divas or whatever? It's like, I know about Focal. I know that I've had good experiences. I know that the brand has been around and this and that. So it's like, it's a very short conversation. Yeah, I want to review it. You know, B&W calls, do you want the new 700 series for review, bookshelf, or tower? Yeah, I want it, because it's a known quantity. Advanced Paris is having its moment in the sun right now. It is. Is that to say that it's going to have its moment in the sun 5 years from now? I don't know. No one knows. But I also am not going to contribute to, you know, propping something up because it's in vogue right now.
I mean, honestly, honey, this could have been a real short answer.
All right.
Look, I was there on the phone call. As soon as Andrew mentioned them looking like the OEM of a different brand, the conversation ended, and the person he was speaking to, you know, switched gears to, well, maybe it would be better if you looked at such and such.
Yeah.
And like, that's all you freaking need to know.
Yeah. I
mean, that's all we needed to know. But if you like the product, that's awesome.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm happy for you. Seriously, I really am.
So I've been using the Q995GF for a week. Okay, hold on. I have to look that one up. I think I know what you're talking about, but Samsung
995
Q995.
I'm so confused.
GF. Q995.
What was the latest soundbar we reviewed? The Q990.
Oh, the Q995GF is a German version of the 990F.
Oh, so it was the F.
So it's just made for the German market. I'm not entirely satisfied. Is the Arc Ultra plus 2 300s worth a try? I don't need a lot of bass, a small room. I don't know what you're not satisfied with, per se. If you're asking me, is the Arc Ultra plus 2 Era 300s as surrounds going to be a better experience? In my humble opinion, while it will cost more, in my humble opinion, yes, it is a better overall experience. The 990F, or in your case, 995GF, I don't think is any slouch. I think it's a great system, especially for the money. Here in the States, I think it's like $1,200 for the whole smash. But the Arc Ultra and those Era 300s, and then if you want to add the sub to it down the road, if you decide you need it or you don't, I would personally. That is just a much more refined package, top to bottom, and I do believe that it is better. So now I'm caught up, guys.
But if you don't need a lot of bass and you have a small room,
you might be able to get away with just the Arc Ultra.
I just don't understand what's wrong with your Samsung experience.
Yeah. I don't know. Dracula had his moment in the sun too. Oh, that's funny. Mr. Felix, we got our B&O stage after your review a few years ago. Everyone still loves it. Still impressive even when comparing to our proper name and Harbeth setup. Not surprised. Not surprised. I just wish I wish that bar was just a little bit more flexible in terms of connectivity and growth. But I get it. I get it. That's not what it was initially designed for. It just turned out to be such a good product that it would have been awesome if it was kind of I don't want to say watered down theater, but if it had some of the capability of the theater in terms of expansion, at a minimum, if it just worked with other, like, call it BO play style or BO play centric type speakers, the way the theater does with the bigger, 50s, 28s and stuff like that, I think that would have been great.
I don't have I ever heard a Harbeth speaker?
Yes, you have. You heard Harbeth in Austin
at Whetstone.
At Whetstone, and you loved them very much until you went from Harbeth to the orangutans, and you were like, "Whoa!" But you've heard Harbeth.
Okay,
they're good. They're great. They're great stuff. Great stuff.
We've never had them in this house though, or in any. I've never heard them outside of a showroom.
Yeah. So, I am all caught up, and I'm just now noticing that it is almost noon, which means we have been live for over 2 hours. So I'm going to take this right to 12 noon. So you got 13 minutes. 13 minutes to get your question in or spark some sort of side quest here.
Do you know what an Athena S3 speaker is?
Are they still in business?
No idea.
I thought Athena S3 speaker. Yeah. I've heard of the brand Athena. And if we're talking about the same Athena, I was under the impression that they're no longer around. Just doing a quick Google search. I mean, I'm seeing stuff from early 2000s here. Yeah, I know of them, but I don't have any personal experience.
Have you ever listened or reviewed system audio speakers?
Not to my knowledge.
What are your favorite test tracks to use?
Oh boy,
there's too many.
There's too. Yeah, it's too many.
But one that we have been listening to a lot and playing a lot when testing new gear is off of John Batiste's Beethoven album.
Yeah, John Batiste redid.
Really great.
Yeah, redid a bunch of Beethoven classics in a more jazzy style, and it's recorded. It's recorded great. It sounds great. It's fun. I listen to that album a lot. I've been using Royksop a lot. Two Lanes, always still a favorite. Lastlings. Falling Back into Churches, albeit in the car. They're on heavy rotation. So yeah, John Batiste is great.
I just linked to that album in the chat if anyone's interested.
Wirehead tipping for a new roll of caution tape to keep nosy erosion experts at bay.
Oh, thank you. We need about 20 rolls.
Yeah. So can you recommend any home portable speaker for budget good enough for a TV speaker alternative? So you want the speaker to be portable, but you also want it to work with a television. There aren't many portable speakers that I'm aware of that possess HDMI connectivity. Now, they could possess digital connectivity or they could have AirPlay. If you use AirPlay, then you can get away with a lot of things. As far as affordable, I mean, you can go with something from Sonos, not the Arc or anything like that, but like, what was their like original speaker? It's kind of a big rectangle all in one. That with AirPlay or something would work, you know, for some TV sound. My favorite kind of portable speaker, to believe it or not, is either like the Sonos Move 2, that little Bose. Believe it's tiny, man. It's like only $100, but that thing sounds great for something so small, and it's all weather, you know, waterproof and stuff like that. I'm not going to recommend anything like Bang & Olufsen, and just in case that's too high, but like the Level is a great portable speaker. Gosh. Yeah, when it comes to like ultra portable stuff, we really have always just kind of used Sonos products, and they've been really solid. I mean, hell, the Beam Gen 2 soundbar is small enough that I suppose you could make it portable. It's just that's not really what it's designed to do, and it does need to be plugged into AC mains. But it works with the television, and it sounds really good for what it is. So yeah. Let's see. Andrew, your favorite loudspeaker under 20K. My favorite loudspeaker under 20K. Man. Well, I would say that I like the 28s, but I think they're over 20,000 now. The BioLab 28s, I think they're going for like 22 grand now, as opposed to when I reviewed them, I think they were 18. They would have been on the list, but since we're capping it at 20, I don't give this speaker enough credit, because I think at the time of the review, I got a little bit too hung up on how much of this brand's lineup was kind of same. It's just the only way to differentiate the higher end stuff from the middle stuff was visually was like gloss paint or gloss finish. But the Monitor Audio Platinum line is phenomenal. It's not that I didn't review that speaker fairly. I did. It's just, again, going from platinum to gold, you're like doubling in price. And visually, they look identical, except one's matte, one's glossy. And then for me, if you're going to go platinum, you're going to go to that upper echelon. Like, mix it up, make it a little different. But I want to say the Platinum 200s are probably 13 or 14 grand. That's a hell of a speaker. And it's beautiful. It is. It's a great product. Pretty agnostic, like sounds good with everything. So that was good. The Wharfdale Elysian big boys at like 10 or 12 grand. Again, ridiculous value for money. A bit big for me, you know, a bit large and honking and hard to sort of look past, but nothing against their sonic capability. They were fabulous. I remember being impressed with the Pearlissons we had. You know, I like the B&W 805, whatever they're on, but that's, you know, so yeah, I mean, they're good. There's some options. Best all-arounder, though, might be the sweet spot, might be that Monitor Audio Platinum 200. So that might be the sweet spot. Let's see. Oh, here we go. What are your thoughts on the NAD CI SA2 120? I'm seriously considering it for my home system because I can hide it nicely out of sight. Oh boy. Well, my thoughts are I don't even know what you're talking about, so let me Google it.
CI, that must be a custom installer
NAD
abbreviation, I'm guessing.
Yeah, SA2 120. Okay, it's a multi-zone power amplifier. I mean, I'm sure it's great. I don't know. I mean, all of this stuff is, I'm sure it's great. Oh man, I hate when I can't
NAD makes good products.
They make good stuff.
So
They make good stuff. I don't typically have a problem recommending them, but can I get specific on this particular model? I can't. But historically, I've never had a problem with NAD, aside from the fact that there's a lot of overlap in many of their products, and sometimes they're on the more clinical side when they go Class D. But apart from that, it doesn't take anything away from the fact that they're typically very rock solid products. So, all right. Any thoughts on reviewing the quad? Hey, honestly, I was under the impression about 8-9 months ago that I was doing this whole big quad review, and the distributor, MoFi, and I were on the phone, and we laid out this whole quad story of like line of reviews. Like we were going to do this one and then this one and this one. Nothing ever showed up. And that's kind of been the story of MoFi this year with us. Like lots of stuff has been requested. Nothing ever shows up.
yeah,
So
rarely. It's just been an unfortunate turn because they were always very, very good about keeping us in the loop about new product line, new products coming out of their various lines that they represent. But then some changes happened in terms of who was managing what, and once that took place, we just noticed a significant downturn in information,
follow through and information,
and follow through. So I know we get a lot of questions about various MoFi products, and it's not that we aren't interested in talking about them. We definitely are, but
yeah.
It's just when the communication only goes one way, it kind of gets to be a drag, and kind of like it was with Arundel. Like we reached out, and then we stopped, and then they decided to get in touch with us, and so now we have an Arundel review coming your way. Maybe something will turn around with MoFi. The brands they represent in general. I'd love to see that happen.
Yeah, I would too. I appreciate all the content you provided so far. This setup is roughly 2,000, is that pounds? Your opinion about Audiolab 8300 CDQ, Audiolab 8300 XP, and Dolly Oberon 5. I love AOR, hard rock, heavy metal. I can't comment on that exact combination of gear. I mean, Audiolab, I like. But as far as Dolly Oberon 5 with that, I don't know. That's a combination I just haven't played with or have any experience with. Historically, though, stuff driven by Audiolab products, especially if you're into hard rock or heavy metal, you're probably not going to run into too many issues with, I guess, like fatigue or things like that. Like it's going to do it justice. Now, if you want it to be piercing and edgy, maybe don't do Audiolab. But if you want to be able to listen at all volumes without fatigue or distortion or breakup with compressed rock, you're probably going to be okay. And that's the best I got. It's really the best I got. All right. Chris writes, Kef Blade 2, interesting speaker to get in-house. At one point, we were told Kef Blades were coming, and then Kef, I think, came out with the LS60 wireless, and whatever blade plans they had, we were talking about, got supplanted by the LS60, and then the blades never got revisited. Someone writes, song suggestion, if you can find the song Other Side of the Street by Danish artists to play on your B&O. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And my last question of the day. Here we go. Obviously, you're into audiophile speakers, but I've always wondered if you were ever into high-end headphones. If so, do you have a favorite pair? I get asked headphone questions all the time. I'm not a headphone aficionado or a headphone user. I'm just not. It's not to say that I haven't owned headphones. I actually have a whole box of headphones in my house. That's another product that just has a tendency of showing up unannounced. When people know full well we don't do headphone reviews, like maybe once or twice a year, they just arrive. So yeah, it's not that I can't appreciate headphones. It's just not how I listen. And the headphones that I use the most are my AirPods, my in-ear Apple AirPods. Before that, it was Sony XM4 over-the-ear headphones. My favorite pair of headphones that I've ever owned in the history of my life were B&O Form 2s that I bought in college. It was actually my very first Bang & Olufsen purchase because they were $100, which at the time I was like, holy crap, $100 for headphones. But yeah, the Form 2s lasted me for over a decade. I had to replace the ear foam once in 10 years, but they lasted for a decade. And I thought they were great. I replaced them with Bowers & Wilkins first over the semi-enclosed headphone. Had those forever. And then I've been on AirPods, Airbuds, whatever you want to call them ever since. So there you go. So yeah. Guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been a great stream, 2 hours, 30 minutes. Appreciate you spending a part of your Friday morning, afternoon, or evening with us. Tune in Sunday, brand new video, lots of fun. Totally opposite direction than BioLab 50s, literally like opposite direction. We're going, the pendulum went here and now we're going way over there. But it's fun. We had a lot of fun with it. And yeah, anything you want to add, babe?
Nope.
No? All right, guys. So
Thanks for, other than thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the great questions and the conversations. Thanks for humoring us on our side quests. And we'll see you guys Sunday at our usual time with a brand new video. Until then, have a great rest of your day and enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Bye.